Okay, so today we're going to cut through all the noise about making money online. Everyone's talking about the hustle, but finding a path to an income you can actually live on, well, that can feel like trying to find your way through a maze. So we're here to give you a map, and it all starts with the one question most people just forget to ask. Right? Because let's be real, especially in today's economy, there is a massive difference between just making some revenue and actually being profitable. I mean, anyone can make a few bucks here and there, but building something that consistently puts money in your pocket after all the costs and all the effort, that's a whole different ballgame.
And this slide. This is the ultimate reality check. We get sold this dream of passive income while sitting on a beach somewhere, but the reality for most people, it's a grind. It takes consistent, day in, day out effort. You're facing potential burnout, and the competition is absolutely fierce. The truth is, it is almost never fast money. It's a long game.
So to help make sense of it all, we're going to break this down into 4 clear paths. It all depends on the main asset you already have: an audience, a product, a skill, or your life experience. See, the key isn't to chase the latest trend. It's about finding the path that fits what you've already got. Let's dive into the first one.
All right, path number 1. This whole strategy is built around one of the most valuable currencies on the internet today: attention. It's all about building a following, earning their trust, and then finding ways to monetize that relationship.
So the 2 most common ways to do this are content creation, think YouTube or social media, and high-ticket affiliate marketing. Now, both of these require you to build a genuine connection first. You have to establish credibility. You're not just selling something, you're selling your personal recommendation. And success here really comes down to skills like understanding sales psychology and learning how to drive traffic. But if you can master those, a lot of doors can open up. Brian's story is just a perfect example of how this path is valuable at any age. I mean, after decades in totally different fields, he decided to pivot into digital marketing, which is the engine that grows an audience, and he found incredible success. In a field like this, your age and experience can be a huge advantage. So here's the crucial trade-off. Building an audience is a long-term investment. Yes, you build a powerful personal brand, but you are also completely at the mercy of algorithms. And the income? It can be incredibly unpredictable when you're starting out. This path is absolutely a marathon, not a sprint. Okay, let's move on to path 2, which is built on a totally different kind of asset. This path is for all the makers and the merchants out there. It's about selling a physical or a digital item directly to a customer. So your options here include things like Amazon FBA, where you're dealing with actual physical inventory. Or you could go the digital route with courses and templates. The great thing about those is they're super scalable. You build it once and you can sell it forever. And then there's print on demand, which seems so easy because you don't have to manage any inventory. But this quote from Wendy Nolan is such a powerful dose of reality. That dream of easy money with print on demand can turn into a nightmare pretty fast when you realize the profit margins are just razor thin. When you're only making a few dollars per item, the amount of time and effort you're putting in, it just doesn't add up. And that really gets to the core challenge of the product path. Yeah, you control the asset, but the hurdles are pretty significant. Amazon FBA has high starter costs and tons of fees. And for digital products, the biggest challenge isn't creating it, it's distributing it. I mean, if nobody ever sees your brilliant course, it doesn't matter how great it is. Okay, on to path 3. This one is different. It moves away from audiences and products and instead focuses on something way more direct: monetizing a specific, in-demand skill that you already have. This could look like a real-world service, something like pet sitting, or it could be a more digital service, like this model called digital leasing. But in both cases, you're getting paid directly for your ability to do something really well. And you don't need some super complex technical skill to make this work. Just look at Barbara. At 83 years old, she turned her love for animals into a thriving local business. This path really proves that simple, practical skills have real value in the market. So let me break down how that digital leasing model works. Instead of trying to compete with everyone in the world, you just focus on one local area. You build a simple little website for, say, a plumber in Peoria. Then you work to get that site ranked at the top of Google for that city. And once the customer leads start coming in, you just rent those leads to a local plumbing business. You own the website, you control it, and you collect a recurring monthly fee. You basically become a digital landlord. Now, the biggest advantage here is that you own the asset, and the competition is way lower. You're not fighting for global attention, just local. The income can become predictable, even recurring. The main downside, you either have to learn a specific skill, like local SEO, or for other service gigs, you're directly trading your time for money.
And that brings us to our final path. And honestly, it's maybe the most overlooked and undervalued one of all. This is for anyone out there who has decades of professional knowledge or just plain life wisdom to share. I mean, think about it. If you've spent 30 years as a nurse, or in IT, or in finance, that experience is incredibly valuable. You can repackage all that wisdom into high-value services like consulting or coaching. Trust me, younger generations and businesses are actively looking for exactly that kind of guidance. And that wisdom, it commands real money. As this chart shows, even when you're just starting out, consultants can charge pretty significant hourly rates. But for people with deep experience, earning over $200, even $300 an hour is common. Your life's work is a premium asset. This number is just stunning. It shows what can happen when your experience meets the right strategy. Wendy Nolan combined her deep understanding of what people wanted with a high-demand digital product and pulled in over $15,000 in a single week. That is the power of leveraging what you already know. So, we've laid out the 4 paths: audience, product, skill, and experience. Now comes the most important part. How do you choose the right one for you? This table really just lays it all out. If you've got the patience and you really want to build a personal brand, the audience path might be your jam. If you've got some capital to invest in good marketing chops, a product could work. But look closely at those bottom 2 rows. Leveraging a skill you have or your life experience often represents a much lower risk and potentially a much faster path to real sustainable income. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. The internet makes it so easy to get distracted by the next shiny new trend. But the most sustainable, the most powerful path forward is to look inward. You've got to ask yourself, what skills, what wisdom, what experiences do I already have? Those aren't hurdles to overcome. They are the very foundation you can build your success on. Look, the opportunity to build something for yourself online is undeniable. It's real. But you can't just show up to a gold rush with a flimsy little pan and expect to strike it rich. You need the right tool for the job. So the real question is, when you look at your own life, your skills, and your experience, what tool are you going to use?